Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, in the room with us, the ghosts and ghouls. But welcome to Purgatory Corner Library Dreams. I am not your storyteller today. Corn is, and we're going to be continuing the tale of Re-Jumpchain RWBY Terminal Season. So come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. Corn.
Welcome back, everybody, to RWBY Terminal Season, where our biggest problem right now is not the world-ending threat that sits on the horizon, but the depressed man currently sitting across from you at a campfire. I think it's fairly accurate to say that our focus will be largely on Cherubim and a dialogue with him, at least for the start of this session, because as it is, there's a fair amount that hangs in the balance when it comes to a depressed Glorbo. When last we left off, everyone had successfully gone up to Atlas. Well, more specifically, up to Mantle, near the entrance to Atlas. And what ended up being told to you was that there are sightings of a gospel in the surrounding area. However, they don't seem to be making any hostile movements. They don't seem to be starting any fights, nothing like that. They're simply there, and they are being observed. You went over in order to investigate exactly who this was, with the fridge on your back containing the damaged gospel from before that had taken in a broken mask. It had shouted for brother and brother and brother, but then for Cherubim. When you arrived at the camp created by the gospel, it was, of course, Cherubim who greeted you. He gladly took the fridge and its contents with him, telling you about how the individual is broken because of the broken mask that it consumed, that he has hopes that he may one day be able to restore the individual's capacity for thought, but that more importantly, he stands here in a crisis of faith, and he hopes that speaking with you, the group standing across from him on the other side of the battlefield, might be able to clear his head enough to allow him to make the decisions he needs to without regret. And I believe that catches us up.
Oof. Very nice.
So, who would like to lead the dialogue, or would you rather Cherubim start us off?
Lene pops up and says, I'm really glad that you came and talked to us. Well, it's good to see you.
To be honest, I truly do wish I could say the same. But the circumstances under which we meet make it difficult to say so.
You say you're thinking. What are your
Yes,
thoughts on what you think so far?
I think that there is great danger, not just to your kind or even to the Grim, but to what it means to exist, even as a gospel. I believe that it was that Matarael gave you the information on what happened during the apostasy.
Yes.
The battle that our brothers fought, not against an opponent, but against each other. I only recently remembered it myself. And I'm starting to wonder if perhaps I may have stood on the wrong side of that battlefield. Do you believe that humanity and the Gospels can live together in harmony?
I think that we can. I think that this is all what it's been striving towards.
Despite the bodies that have been left behind, the blood that has been shed, the corpses, despite all of that, you believe there can be peace between our kinds?
I look to the rest of the group as I kind of say, the war down here and the prison that you had when you were up in the stars. We all had something that had happened because of the fighting. The creator, right? They made the mother and the father. Is that right?
The gods of light and dark. Yes.
Well, how I've been thinking is that, well, for myself, the apostasies, right? The gospel's killing each other, striking back against the creators. But in the end, they were punished. The creator was enraged. He cast them as the stars. And then the humans and the Grim, they're in a constant war fighting each other. A war in a prison, right? But I think that I've been heard before that you said that the energy, or someone said that the energy of the light god has run out. And that's why the gospels are falling down? But I think that maybe this is all planned. That the creator had punished us all, or the people who had lived here, just so that we could try again. Try to work together.
Cherubim shakes his head. I cannot believe that this was all preordained. Perhaps a matter of time ago I could have, but I've seen the body of one of the brother gods. They did not ordain their own demise. They were
Wait, what
struck
now?
down by another.
Oh, flip.
I suppose I should tell you now then. The greatest thing that stands between peace amongst our kinds resides here, in Mantle. It is the one who calls himself now Father, the leader of the current batch. His dream is to awaken the first of the Gospels, but he needs an untold amount of energy to do so.
Hmm.
But he found it in the form of the Dark God, a corpse left behind, slain by a greater beast I do not know. The body was found and has been fed to one of the eggs, and the All-Father shall soon rise again. Between the All-Father and our revered brother who leads us now, they will not abide by humanity's existence. They led the apostasy with the dream of striking down all of those who would taint the garden created and give us full dominion over this world. They will not choose peace. They will not hold back. If you want peace, you will go to war for it.
But just think about how it happened before. Even when they tried to do it, the apostasy, and tried to rebel and do their own thing, it didn't work. They just killed each other, and then they were punished. Don't you think that
And there
maybe that means that it's not supposed to be that way?
and there are no gods left to punish us all.
Are you sure about that?
I have seen the body of the God of Darkness. The God of Light held our prison together with his own soul. That we begin to fall, that everything has begun to fall. It is evidence.
God of darkness. Hold on, let me. Katie just like squints. It's like ears are clicking. It's like, which big bad dark one was that? Did we kill that one? Or was that a different guy?
It was struck
Mother?
down a long time ago.
Right. Dang.
When the battle took place, we were already in our prisons. We could not look upon it. We could not see what came.
Mm.
But one thing is for certain. Our creators are no longer with us. The very one that restrained our All-Father, that restrained Mother Avalon, they will restrain them no longer. The All-Father will choose war, as he always has.
That's rough, buddy.
If he chooses war and leads at least the majority of my kind in battle against humanity, then what am I to do? What are we to do? We who desire peace will not be able to find it. Not with a warmonger in the greatest position of power.
Mm. To clarify, what are the... So we have two brother gods fought,
Yes.
and supposedly one is very dead. What
So-
is the other one?
There are two brother gods, the god of light and the god of dark. The god of light created the Gospels. The god of dark created the Grimm. When they worked together, they created both the world and they created humanity. Humanity was their favorite child, and both Gospels and the Grimm rebelled. Particularly the Allfather and Mother Avalon rebelled. Their rebellion was a failure. The Gospels were split between those who were loyal to their creator and those who believed in peace. This was the apostasy, when those who desired peace were struck down by those who sought to destroy all others on the Garden of Remnants. The two
I'm gonna
gods.
say... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. The two gods, one of light and one of dark, they are out of character. I mentioned inside of a. I think I read it out loud, and I think it's inside of the unknown location channel inside of here. Nope, it's not in there. It was at the end of the the episode before last episode. It ended where we were talking about how after you left the forest, there was a whole thing where you saw that the All-Father was being awakened with the corpse of the Dark God. And now Shadowbeam is telling your characters so that all of you in character now also know the Dark God's body has been found, and it is being used to fuel the awakening of the greatest warmonger that the Gospels have at their disposal.
Ew.
Interesting.
Will that work though? Because didn't the god of dark and the god of light work together to create humanity?
Whether or not it would work does not matter to the All-Father. They will rise and they will fight. They will choose combat, regardless of anything else, because they believe that they will win.
And they're fools.
They may be fools, but they are still my foolish brothers.
Yes. Question for you. When they get done, say this goes through. When they get done, what will they do to the loyal?
To the world?
Not the world, but loyal. To you. To each other.
I cannot claim with confidence that another apostasy does not lie within the future. But at the very least, when this war is over, there will be, if not true peace, then at least the absence of war for a time.
It won't last long. It'll last very short, and the moment someone gets that stick, if your brothers are willing to do what I've seen them do to each other already, your peace won't come under that rule.
You can't
I
have
agree.
peace fought with death.
No, peace fought with death is just the commonplace. The problem is that peace never lasts very long. Even if there's a moment of ceasefire, war doesn't just stop without good reason, without the proper channels.
You
Say,
speak of the difference between peace and an armistice.
correct. in my world, the place I'm originally from, not this place, not Remnant, not Terminal. Termina, or the brain may have said the word. There was a time in my history of my world where there was what some foolishly would have loved to call peace. In reality, it was just the beginning of a bigger, much worse storm. And it didn't stop claiming lives just because, in air quotes, peace for a time, an armistice had been decided. People still fought and people still died. I believe Jack's gonna motion to the half-broken one that if that is the outcome of you fighting each other, that it's as soon as you deal with one problem, the vacuum in your own people will show again. Your peace would last very, very short. It would basically just be an armistice with each other. You would be waiting for the first person to pop. You would never know peace, not the description I'm aware of peace. This world may not be peaceful, but it is in a state of balanced fighting, if that makes sense. As the people themselves are finding ways to fight the Grim before you arrived, from what I understand, are now fighting themselves. Not because they're actively fighting you, but because, or them. Sorry, brain. They're not fighting themselves, but there's no guarantee if the Grim all die that they won't. And or, in your people, if you take everything from everyone else, that in that moment of peace, those of your ilk that are of poor reputation won't see an opportunity to take more than what they originally had planned as a whole. The clown, for instance. I've already forgotten his name, but
Oswald.
he used your own people as experimental and everything else. Just because war ends doesn't mean he would. The likelihood is he would be one of many to cause more fighting. War of the members, something commonplace. Where I'm from, you had to watch the people you were with as much as the people you weren't. Just because they were on your side doesn't mean that they were on your side, and I fully understand how you ended up in a war with yourselves. You're all strong, but there lacks a certain definition amongst even your ranks. I think you could make it. I think if, to some degree, say you and Lynn find a way to figure this out, there is likelihood that you can find a peace or a balance between races. But the problem would be, could you properly punish your own? Could the humans punish theirs? Questions that would have to be asked amongst leaderships, amongst your and theirs. And if they've decided to revive a warmonger, your group's in a balance that is fatal. Because if he's a warmonger, even if he wins, your fight will start another apostasy. And the moment that they're done with the apostasy of taking out all the people loyal to the one above for your people, your gods, as you call it, they would turn on each other. Maybe not fast, but slowly. Oswald would probably be a good indicator of what would happen to quite a few. Experimental fodder. He would get bored of animals, bored of whatever humans he would catch, whatever Grim he would catch. and he would move on to your kind. And the moment he got bored of the small fries, he would go bigger and bigger and bigger. Uncheckable curiosity.
I do not disagree with you here. I recognize the fragility of peace and that the dangers that are posed here are extant. But the problem I face here is, what am I to do? What are we to do? There is a battle that will take place. A war will be waged, and I cannot stop it. I simply have to choose what sacrifices to make. You stand opposite me from another perspective. You stand having walked through more wars than I have from the tones you speak of, or perhaps just one that dragged on.
My
But at the
word.
same...
You say more wars are one that was long. Mine hasn't stopped. I only got discharged. I became too broken for them to use anymore. I'm very similar to your brother there. Though I still have my mental faculties more in check, he likely suffers from things outside of your normal mental capacity. Maybe just because the mask is broken, but it's very close. Not able to leave a moment in time, trapped there, constantly reliving something you don't want to. Very similar to a thing called PTSD that humans can suffer from. Something that my world has in abundance and caused more than a few problems amongst survivors, amongst those who lived outside of that war, who watched it. But the war didn't stop, just because a couple of people said it should. If you want war to stop...
long-term problems, but the problem I face now is a short-term one.
Short-term can turn into long-term very quickly.
Yes, but a short-term problem still exists.
Mm-hmm. If you want an honest
war is
about an actual solution, you need to fight. I recommend, not from, for humans and humans, no. I recommend you fight your own people again. Not alone. With help from humans. From us, maybe. Depending on what others say.
I'd be willing to be your friend.
Because, frankly, you already have my respect. You saw your broken brother and immediately decided that you were going to try to help him. Meaning that you have the leadership mentality that your brothers lack.
And you're also willing to talk with us. And before as well. That means something.
You can likely lead your people, but you also cannot be weak to your own. You must be willing to fight. And you will have to sacrifice probably some of your brothers, but in the long term, you may save more.
You advocate then for another apostasy.
I advocate that you don't do it alone. Because it's going to happen. Because Jack, motions to his broken brother still exists, technically. Even if it's in a broken state, he's still alive. And they may not like that. Short term and long term are very interconnected. I apologize if it seems like I'm being cruel or mean towards you. Honestly, you have my respect for even being willing to talk, but also to be willing to see your brother and not immediately try to kill us when we took him out of a box. But if you want your people to live and really, what I would consider, survive, you'll have to take down those who are way above you, who want war. My world's in a non-stop war because those above can't stop. They refuse to stop. Millions of humans from where I'm from died. Most of the people I know died.
Lene
If
looks
I
at
got my
Likely
hand-
comes.
Jack,
This
Jack
likely comes
Wiley.
as no. Oh, sorry. What?
Oh, I said Lene looks at Jack quietly. She's been quietly watching him with this. Her eyes are kind of very, very sad and softening. Really hadn't expected this, but it's good.
You raise valid points. The danger that stands before us is if he would lead us into a war, if he would lead us to battle once again in unnecessary conflict, if he would lead us to folly, it is my duty as it was my brother's to stand against him. But that alone is not enough to soothe the problems in my mind. I wish to choose a path with no regrets. I stand at a crossroads where I only may choose what I regret. There are still two more of you who have not spoken in depth.
Turn to look at Katie and Hunter.
I figure that it mostly depends on whether you want to fight on like their side or if you're going to end up on the cool peace side. It's well, okay, to be fair, you have the fighting side, you have the peace side, and then you have the kind of somewhere in the middle where like you're like a double agent and then you're on like their side, but like actually you're on our side. It's mostly just a choice of where you stand and then you kind of figure it out from there.
I don't know much about wars. I didn't really deal with them, at least where I'm from. Most of the stuff around me was just a constant struggle against, the dinos and stuff like that. War, if it was a thing, it wasn't anywhere near me. So I don't know much about this conflict, but if you're having to choose between taking care of your companions or following the rules of someone who you're fairly confident will bring you to something of vastly more difficulty and suffering that you don't want to deal with or have your companions deal with, then, well, do what the dinosaurs usually do. Fight that which causes the most harm. If a pact member is struggling, biting, and clawing at every individual near them, you remove the pact member. Safer for everyone else involved. Oftentimes, this happens with the carnivores instead of the herbivores, but the herbivores usually aren't as dangerous. But if one gets a severe infection, for example, and causes them to act out in strange and unnoble manners, it's better to put them down than have them be a consistent danger to every single person that you know. I'm not sure how that would work inside of a war like this, but that's all I know. I don't know wars. I know one-on-one battles.
You all speak valid points. The greatest threat.
Corn?
What? What's up? What's
No.
up? Can you not hear me?
No, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I had you at 55%, so.
Okay. Well, I'm
There
here.
you are. Okay.
Hi.
What was I saying?
Didn't realize you moved to your computer.
You all speak valid points, and it is clear
that I cannot run away from the fact that the All-Father is a cancer amongst our species that must be excised. If he would lead us into war... No, I should have stood against him during the first apostasy. I worry for those beneath me, but I cannot, in good conscience, stand alongside him. But at the same time, I don't believe that I have the capacity to stand against my brothers. You understand that there is not much I can do in combat, then, yes?
Yeah.
But that does not mean there is nothing that I can do. None of the humans have determined exactly where my venerated brother's base is located. But obviously, I know exactly where it is. I will pull all of my troops from within there. I will evacuate all those who would rise to my cause. And I will pull at least one of the leaders away. But understand this. You will have to fight them on your own. Kamael, Oswald, and my venerated brother. Do you truly believe that you can defeat them all?
Honestly, we were kind of expecting it.
I do have 2 guns.
I mean, we were kind of pulled in for that job.
Then
Because I do not doubt our predecessors, if y'all remember, are likely the cause of that first guy, the big thing's death. Given we were told we had to clean up some mess, and this is probably it, honestly.
Wouldn't be
To explain a
surprised.
little bit in detail about ourselves, we know a lot about you. We're what's considered air quote jumpers. Title still not withholding. I'm not sure if NSB called us that. Quick, easy term. And whoever our predecessors was did a big mess up apparently, and we're here to technically fix that. That is our air quote technical job. So the likelihood is for us fighting this was inevitable.
I do not ask if it is inevitable that you would fight. I ask for an assurance that you will win.
Do our best to. I'll try to win. I ain't going down without a fight, that's for certain. I'm gonna win even if it kills me.
We haven't lost so far.
I didn't start all this to fight. It's definitely not something that I like to do or want to do. But for all of this, I think it's worth it. And I'll definitely do my best to not put anybody down.
Plus,
Oh,
we
I'm
have a wild
sure.
card that they cannot possibly expect. He gestures out to
Yeah!
Katie.
Yeah!
Even I don't know what her deal is yet.
I get that a lot. Yeah. Don't worry about it, Cherry. We got you. We got you. I think that you're bestie material, even if we are on vastly different sides.
All right.
I reach over to give him some pats on the shoulder.
I will put my faith in you and pull my forces out. We will prepare for another apostasy. I hope, however, that my preparations will be for naught. I hope that I will be wasting my time for however long it takes for someone to come out of the base. And know this. The final guard is a powerful one. He stands at the venerated brother's side, is one of the few who still remembers, in perfect clarity, everything that took place. Not Kamael and his hatred, not Oswald and his amusement, but Matarael and his grief. He told me of your plan. If you can strike both of them down, Matarael will pull the guard away, and the very last enemies will be removed from your path. Here. And he passes a piece of paper pulled out from his robe. It's a map.
Ooh.
This will take you to the final site of battle.
Interesting. Oh, by the way, do you mind checking something for me?
I suppose I can.
Jack pulls out that stupid letter again.
He
I've been trying to
looks,
figure out what language this is, and so far no human's been able to figure it out. You got any leads on it?
he looks over it, and after a few moments, his eyes widen in surprise. There are those who read this language. But I'm afraid that this was the language of the divine. Only the All-Father and Mother Avalon could tell you exactly what this says.
Huh.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Well, I guess we gotta go find a god now, I guess, for you. Without killing it.
Oh.
I mean, we could deliver the letter, and if he tries to fight us afterwards, you know, we don't know what's gonna happen.
Maybe the divine are
Preferably without
nice?
murdering it.
Mm.
Well, it's at least a lead for once.
Yes.
Mm.
Whoever it is meant to be addressed to, they will be, if you somehow manage to convince the All-Father to speak with you congenially, then he would be able to tell you to whom this is addressed. But with Mother Avalon dead, I believe he is the last one in this world with that knowledge.
Good to know.
Cool
Well-
beans.
I
Thank you,
suppose this
Cherub,
is
for
the end of our
talking with
dialogue.
us. Thank you for talking with us and, still helping out.
I am doing nothing to help. In fact,
Mm.
I am doing nothing. But at least I will regret that the least. Thank you for bringing me my brother, that I might care for him.
You're welcome.
I wish you the best in this final conflict. You will not see me again.
Aww. I'll miss you.
Hunter's just to pat Katie's back. Thunk,
That
thunk.
Cherubim slowly stands up, and his brother slowly follows her from behind as they walk into the tundra, out from the out from the small encampment, and you do not see them in the snow.
Aw.
Well, that was a little bit depressing.
It's war.
What is it good for?
Yeah,
Honestly,
Breaking people's hearts.
Oh, yeah. All those.
So
You have the path. You have a map to the final location. You can transmit that to the authorities, or you can choose to go in there on your own. It depends on whether or not you're willing to risk having them send a bunch of inexperienced hunters to try and provide support for your group. It could help out a lot, but it could also lead to other casualties.
And Lene looks at Jack. She's very surprised over the whole conversation and is, I guess, like, glad this kind of went down the way it was. Mhm. Um, Jack, do you have a moment?
Just the eyebrow raise. What's up, Wings?
Could we? Do you have a moment to talk before we start strategizing the maps?
Why does she get a cool nickname?
Cause Katie, you're crazy.
Yay!
Hunters just grab Katie by the back of her shirt?
Lab coat?
Question mark.
Lab coat?
Wah.
Sure, lab coat, shirt, whatever. The back of her everything, and just kind of lifts her up and puts her on his shoulder.
Yay!
Well, we're just gonna go over here. You two talk.
Thank you.
I wonder how good my hearing with my ears is.
Well, you have Fluffy, don't you?
Yeah.
Be entertained by the fluff, I guess.
Okay.
Fluff huffer.
Mhm.
Just kind of
Huffer,
walks
fluff.
away to a nearby snowbank and just kind of like yeets her into it.
Wow. Flop.
Just watching them walk off.
She
Silly
follows the gaze.
angels.
So what's up?
Mm. She's quiet, thinking to herself and taking her eyes away from where the others had gone. Not like with any type of way about it. Just kind of quiet. She looks at him. I was surprised that, well, I guess I hadn't expected that you'd let the gospel go.
I mean, we couldn't exactly keep it. And we knew what was coming up, thanks to it.
It's true.
Plus
By the way-
context.
Mm.
Context changed my decisions.
What changed?
Things broken. They're fighters, even if Cherry didn't want to admit it. They're made for war. I can relate. So,
Hearing you kind of talk about the war that was going on when you left, I guess I never really could understand that. We did have war back in my own world, but I didn't lose anybody. It's hard to empathize.
honestly, your world always sounded peaceful. To my people, the way you've always described your home and the way you act comes off as, to us, a utopia.
I'm not sure it would be. I can understand that though. It's very different. I guess it's just been hard to see the other side for
Maybe.
myself.
Possibly. It's hard to describe everything without really just showing someone. How do you explain watching people die constantly? How do you explain a home that no one has hope? You called this world wrong. But to me, this world is better than home. Yeah, they're fighting things, but look at all this land. It's, yeah, it's cold, it's chilly, but it's usable. Same with the rest of the world. Yeah, people don't live in most places because of the Grim, but this place is good.
I will admit, yes, it was very emotional when I said that, and I'm sorry that I did. But of course, I do see that the potential in what this place could be. I guess at the moment, I just thought that the world just wasn't right because it could be better. It could be safer, more peaceful. But I wasn't saying it was. I'd hopes that it wasn't the worst.
I'm not saying my world doesn't have its kindnesses.
Hmm.
Boxing is really big where I'm from. It's what kept me from being dead.
How did it keep you from dying?
Because when I got out of the military, I tried to drink myself into such a stupor that I couldn't wake up. I was coming back from the store, going back to my, I think it's like 100 square feet. It's the general term. I'm not sure if you have the same terminology where you're from. Apartment, which I only learned about that I had the money for it once I got out after a week of sleeping on the street. Thankfully, there were people in the area where I was sleeping at the time who pointed me the correct direction to understanding how to get funds. I wasn't taught that stuff. Most people, especially if you're a jackalope, don't live very long.
Your title, the Jackalope.
It's a bomb squad title. The only thing it means is you survived. That's it. Most jackalopes don't live long outside of service because we're the broken ones. We're the really broken ones. At least that's what most people would say. Survival rate for where I'm from, for specifically my title, is a 4%. For all of the people go in, 4% come out alive.
Goodness.
There are 2 titles above Jackalope for those that are able to stay in. And Kieran is technically the highest title in my world for someone from my position. Only one man ever got it, and I don't even know what happened to him after he got his title. No one ever says. I'm not mean to you because I want to be mean. I'm just taking what I think is going to be the most likelihood of all of us surviving. I apologize if I come off as stranient. I didn't exactly get along with most people anyway where I was from, so it's typical for me to just say things and do things without much thought. I'm focused on survival of people above everything. I didn't even think any of this was real when we started. I thought I'd finally snapped. A year and a half clean, just to snap when I least expected it. It was only when I lost my arm did I realize this was all real.
Why did you keep yourself clean after that? After the jump or before?
Before. Boxing coach, guy who went through similar stuff. Most people where I'm from end up as soldiers. Only the very, very wealthy don't, or the very, very intelligent. Everyone else is a soldier. The only exemptions are those who physically can't, but they still have to give DNA. They still have to produce someone to go in their place. So he was a guy who watched this mostly drunk guy get the crap beat out of him in an alleyway, coming back from the store with a bunch of booze. After the thugs finished kicking the crap out of me because I was so intoxicated and such a wreck. I was not as built as I am now back then. He picked me up, got me a couple of treatments, mainly just him going into the nearby store, picking up some really expensive medicine, which I guess all of it was. It's crazy to look at the prices for places here. Patched me up, looked me in the face, and went, "Hey, you come to my gym tomorrow, or I'm reporting you for public intoxication and disturbing what little peace we had." And in my in pain, mostly sober state, I said okay. And then I spent a year and a half getting clean and learning to box. I was about to debut for my first match, and then an SB showed up. I was in the middle of getting a haircut. That's why my hair looks weird. I was gonna get it all dyed one color to honor an old friend. One of the people I watched die. I also didn't want to leave that gospel alone originally. Isolation isn't fun. I did it for 6 months when I was drinking myself into a stupor. I barely left that apartment. Constant night terrors, constant nightmares, PTSD episodes, you name it, it happened in that small room. Had a bed, had a fridge, and I made that function. So I know what it's like to feel trapped, to be trapped. I didn't want to leave it alone.
Are you isolated yourself? Sorry?
Jackalopes are considered dangerous to themselves and other people around them. The reason jackalopes get put on bomb squad, the reason people get placed on bomb squad is they are fundamentally broken in a way that the military cannot use properly in my world. It's where they dispose of the bad eggs. I don't understand how people work, Lynn. I can guess it based on emotional in your face, but people to me are property. I am someone's property. Or was, I guess. Technically, I think I still am. I was emotionally distant from other kids growing up. So when I took my evaluation tests, it all came up. Every little bit. How they did it, I don't fully remember. Some of it's a blur nowadays, but the most human people I ever met were in Bomb Squad. And I got to reassemble their corpses when they died. I don't take risks. I'll risk myself any day of the week. But I'm not going to risk anyone else just because I want to have a little bit of fun. You can't see a gospel coming. Katie can't sense them coming. That thing could. Katie seemed to be able to tap into it slightly, but it didn't seem too pleasant. And we knew who, and we generally had an idea that whoever that gospel was that was here, unbeknownst to being cherubim, was at least considered a brother to that thing that was broken. And when it screamed cherry, or cherubim, we then knew. It was a safety precaution, because we didn't know what we were walking into. And I didn't want to explain it at the time because I felt it was going to be a waste of our time. You did not seem to take that very well, from what I can tell. Most people don't call me an enemy if they aren't angry, I think. I believe you used the term devil. Where I'm from, that term is used to describe your enemy.
She looks chagrined, a bit ashamed at the mention of those heated words. I did. And I am sorry for how I said that.
You didn't know. Where I'm from, newbies make a lot of mistakes in the field and a lot of them end up dead. I don't hold it against you. if that's any constellation. To me, you're someone who's very not meant for this fighting. You're good at people. You're really good at people. But me and Hunter are clearly the combat-oriented people of our group. Katie seems to be able to make peace with creatures not normal that you normally couldn't make peace with. You keep us from fighting with people. Me and Hunter deal with when we have to. Katie does Katie things, but she's good at keeping us from fighting things that aren't human. That makes sense?
I'm very flattered. I don't think that I'm as well as talking to people as that is. But
Hunter doesn't know people. Hunter didn't grow up with people from what we understand, from what he said. The way he talks to people is very monotone, quick, not personable. However, you have the flip side of Katie and me. Katie, I'm not sure, weighs anything and just kind of speaks whatever's on her mind, making people, from their facial expressions, uncomfortable. From the way people move away from her or just kind of stare at her with a puzzled expression. Meanwhile, when I talk, people get on guard. Choice of elimination, you're the one that people tend not to get super pointed with. People talk to you easier than the rest of us. Therefore, you are, by my definition, a face. Someone who's good at communicating those things. If that makes any sense.
I can definitely see how we could match each other up like that. As you can see from the veil on my face, I've never been good at looking at people in the eyes. And really speaking to others as well. Just going to college. Just with my family. Learning fashion. But things that help out now, does it?
Seems to be helping to some degree. You were able to talk Jerry into stuff. You were able to convince Salem and Ozma, thank you. You were able to convince Salem and Ozma not to experiment and to trust us enough to be able to give us basically rides through these places. I don't think the rest of us would really be able to do that in an easier sense. You're not a soldier, and I can recognize that fact. You're one of the lucky ones from my world, in a sense. But even those people from where I'm from aren't that lucky. They miss out on a couple of things. They're very different. You're just different.
I could say the same. That you're also very different. You're Jack.
I'm Isaiah.
Yeah.
Jack's the title. It's something I wear not with honor, but to remember. Because the only people I ever really considered people in my world, past my coach, were the first batch of people I ever had to piece back together when their bodies all got exploded.
It's nice to be able to know that your name. I hadn't known your name was Isaiah.
I don't really use it. Even back home, I was typically called Leonard.
Leonard?
Yep.
Is that a last name?
Nope. My last name is 1997. Middle is 05, or yeah, about 05. The month and the year I was born. People from the program I was a part of don't have last names. We have designations and a temporary name. Isaiah was my temporary name. When I went into service, I was I-95. And the nickname Leonard was gotten from people while I was in service. The full nickname was Leonard Skinnerd, but people typically just called me Leonard. It was technically a nickname I earned. Though I'm not really sure it's something you could say is good.
I think having a name is good. Isaiah.
Yeah, I'll stick with Jackalope. I like that more.
Oh
But
no.
that's the name that I was given. I just go by the title because it's easier. Keeps me on track.
Well, I appreciate knowing, as Isaiah is, who you are as well. And thank you for being part of the team. I know that it's not our decision to have our own teams and who's on this jump together, but as much as that we're all different, I'm starting to realize that I really appreciate the people that we have. And I'm sorry for the things that I've said against you and feeling inadequate and scared of you at some times.
I'm not exactly a normal person then. Even the people here don't exactly look at me with normality. Not most of them, anyway.
But I think that you deserve it, at least. At least to deserve to be talked to like that.
Jack kind of looks at you for a second. Lynn, if you know the things I've done, you probably wouldn't have said that. People, even from my own world, especially the people who knew what I did, were wary of me. Leonard
think-
Skinnerd is not a good nickname. They called me Leonard because it reminded me of some of the actions I took against my enemies. And I wasn't merciful to my allies either. I don't know what jumping entails. We could end up enemies one day. For now, we're allies, we're friends, we're each other's responsibility. But there's no guarantee that NSB will keep us all together and not put us against each other. Even if you trust me, I'm going to warn you, be careful of me. There's no guarantee that he won't use us against each other at some point.
She looks a bit heartbroken at that.
He kind of taps you on the shoulder. I'm not saying don't appreciate each other, but I'm saying do be wary because we don't know what's going to happen to us.
I think if I'm ever backstabbed by somebody else that I had trusted, then that's... I don't know if I should even hold it against them. It's
It's
just...
hard to say.
I think things are just how they are. And
Why did
I'm
you choose
hoping
to jump?
myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for a friend. She's somewhere out here.
Jumping?
No, well, maybe. Her name's Thea. She's the only best friend that I've ever had. I met her when I was in academics, or when I was very young. And she had told me that she's being forced to move through stories, doing what she doesn't want to do without being hurt for not doing it. And I don't know really if her real name is Thea or what she really looks like or if she's really who she looks like. But I want to try to find her so I can help her stop. She was getting tired of it. And hurt. This is definitely not how I thought that this jumping was going to go. But I knew that it was going to be hard. I just didn't realize that there was going to be wars.
Well, hopefully this is the only one we have to deal with for a while. Win or lose, as long as we survive, the likelihood is we'll be sent somewhere else at some point. Given that we may be a cleanup crew, from what I gather, maybe we'll continue to be a cleanup crew. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll find a helicopter. Maybe it's made of chocolate. Who knows? But
Well,
we'll figure it out. If we
I
end
did
up against each other at some point, there's nothing that says I have to kill you. I hope.
Oh,
There's nothing that says you have to kill me. Let's just hope for the best, I think is the wording.
and if you ever have to, maybe give us a heads warning.
I'll see what I can do. I've got good enough reason to jump right now, especially if we're getting powers from this. I can maybe fix my world.
Hmm.
I may have to have a lot of blood on my hands in the aftermath of that, but not something I'm unused to. But I'm going to fix my home.
That's great. I hope that it goes well for you. I also got information from the last thing again for her next location, or their next location. Maybe it's where we're going.
Hey, maybe our next location will actually be all of us actually getting a vacation from this. I doubt it, but we will find out as a group or individually. If we end up getting separated again, we're going to have to find each other again and hope that we at least look semi-recognizable. After all, I lost all my scars when I came here. I also lost my need for my glasses, which was strange adjustment.
She looks at her. She looks back at her wings and a little distressed. Yeah, I also worry if maybe I won't be able to recognize her either. But hopefully, if I look still the same, maybe if I dress the same and act the same, maybe she'll find me instead. Or maybe I'll have some powers later on that will help me find them.
Maybe.
That's what I'm
To be fair,
That's what I'm gearing towards.
you can already see way above the rest of us.
And I can use fast travel, or what it's called. I think I heard Katie say that.
I mean, we do travel into your warehouse and then across a continent. That is pretty quick.
Right. Maybe I should put up little posters saying, "This is me. Come find me if you or Thea."
Hey, you need to go here? Use it as a business opportunity. Ah,
Oh, I should definitely. Oh, when this all ends, that would be a great way to get some funds to be able to do anything that we wanted. All the
quick.
amusement parks.
Can you even do something like that? I feel like there would be like a space in between stuff because where the portal would be opening.
Well, you could probably put up something in the warehouse to block their view of the rest of it.
Well, I'm saying the door.
Oh.
Like,
Well, I mean,
we've never tried to actively place something in one of our doors and then, like, just leave it there. We've always kind of just walked through or dragged something through. We haven't tried to leave something long term. I don't know if it wouldn't get cut in half if we have to close the door, or if the door just wouldn't close. Something to test, because
Oh.
I'd rather not get accidentally cut in half trying to go through a door.
She looks a little squeamish at the idea. I don't know if I would test that out.
I mean, we could use my couch. I'm not using it.
Oh.
I don't sleep in my warehouse.
A couch could do it. We should get you a bed, and we still need to make the cake for all of us.
The way y'all describe cakes is still weird to me. But maybe that's a world thing.
I'm looking forward for it.
Just don't cry to me when my cake doesn't taste that great. It will be highly nutritious, though.
Oh. Well, I can't promise I won't cry. I might. Might be too many spices in the air. From what I know about the spices that you have.
To be fair, drums is very potent, though I'm not really sure if you can consider it a spice or a drink or a chemical weapon. I've kind of used it as all three.
I'd say all
Honestly,
of the above.
you know, war crime seems like a good descriptor.
I'm glad that I was able to talk to you after this. I feel like I somewhat get it now.
Look, I'm a monster, Lynn, but I'm trying to be human. I just don't fully understand what that means. So I'm not the best at this.
Mm.
But you grabbed my attention. You had a conversation. This is probably the most useful conversation we've ever had because we're not yelling at each other, which I'm going to take as a form of progress.
That was not the best thing. I apologize.
Jack kind of shrugs. Is what it is.
Well, I'm looking forward to our continued teamwork for as long as that lasts. She holds out a hand.
For as long as it lasts, he shakes you with his normal hand.
For as long as it lasts.
And when I say he shakes you, no, I mean he grabs your hand and he shakes your entire body. He still has a 4 in strength. That boy is not weak.
I have no points in strength.
Just
You
guys
guys
are hands just
just-
wobble, wobble, wobble.
As you guys are wobbling, you just see a hat that's been going the entire time. Hunter just keeps throwing Katie into like tundra piles. I assume Katie just runs back up to him. He just picks her up and yeets. Yeets.
Yay! Again.
Yeet. Just go
I
on
think we
for
should
your
go check
entire
that out.
conversation.
Cool. We should go check them out again.
Yeah, it's cold, man. My arm's starting to hurt. Who knew metal would not be great in a tundra?
Cool.
All right. Does that mean that y'all are gearing up to head out?
Yeah.
Cool. And did you want to relay the information to Atlas about the location in order to gain some additional backup, or are you just going in alone?
Honestly, I'd rather have the backup because who knows how many we're actually having to fight.
You know, what if he's like, you guys almost beat me by myself, so.
Yeah, just imagine me like, yes, I'm sure that you'd be able to beat me, but can you beat my 267 identical twin brothers?
Not in this tri-state area.
I have 70 alternative brothers.
It's too good.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
we only have the portal back to the soldier place.
It's also that you can send that information with your scrolls.
That's true. Oh yeah.
Text it.
It's always good to have more D-class reinforcements. She gives a thumbs up.
Yeah, D-class reinforcements. Ooh.
I'm gonna say that we give the people information and or I don't know, see if we can't sit at least their leadership down and explain how these things work. I'd rather not get people killed, but I'd rather kill as few as I can. Be the cause of death of as few as I can. That's a weird sentence. Not used to that. Whatever. Give what information we can. Tell them how to interact with these things. Hope they send people that are functional.
Something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably contact them.
Well, the information is passed along, and they're sending folks. That's for certain. There will be backup provided to you. Or more accurately, it's going to be easier to get in as a result of that.
Is it Kamael? Is the first person?
You'll need to take out Kamael and Oswald. Otherwise, you'd have
together?
to fight your. Well, in any order,
Oh, okay. They're in different places.
maybe.
Oh.
Well,
You
I
were
feel
ju-
like
you were given a
Oswald
s-
needs to fucking die.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. But I'm blanking so hard for some reason.
Mhm.
I might be dehydrated. But anyway,
Drink some water.
Or else.
hydrate or else you dehydrate.
I'll start
H2O.
chatting to you.
But yeah, it's everyone's getting ready in order to go in there.
Mhm.
And as you move in, there is first thing that you notice is that the tundra continues on in every direction. If you didn't know exactly what you were looking for, exactly where to look for it, you would not track it down. You eventually do find the entrance practically completely hidden behind a snowbank. But it is a path downwards with stairs carved into ice and stone.
Fancy.
What about the kids, the team?
They were in the area nearby, is what you were told. Did you want to track them down first?
Do we have a way to
Yeah.
get their attention?
You can certainly try. You've got to give me so you tell me how you think you'd be able to track them down. It's a little tricky to find things in this area, considering the fact that it's snowy.
Could we use a really bright bomb? Glitter?
Ah.
Yeah, you could try to just glitter bomb. I would be worried about revealing your location to more than just the others, though.
I see.
Sad Katie
Yeah.
knows this.
You have more
What?
senses than God, so we'd probably be relying on you.
Oh, well, that's true. Could I try to sense them out? Their heat signatures, anyway?
Yeah, you can go ahead and make me a sense roll.
I don't like the tone you
Oof.
said that in.
Oh, it's a 0.
A 0 in these conditions, a 0 is not quite enough.
Mm.
As you're continuing to move around, it's difficult to try to find them. You can't really find any signs of where they were. Just more snow.
Maybe we could just text the soldier group and then they'll text the team our location, our laterals.
Well, if we really want to get their attention, my gun is really loud.
We already kind of talked about what loud sounds will do, though.
Well, yeah. But if we really want their attention,
I guess it's just a question. Do you really want that much attention?
good question, do we?
What are we tracking again?
Oh, we're trying to find people.
Oh.
Trying to determine if we should do big boom or if we should do walk around.
Or maybe leave them.
If they're soldiers and they're from this area, they should be fine for a while on their own. We
think
could
they'd be-
attempt to explode something, but the likelihood is we'll give away our entire location to whatever's in the area. That might cause us to get attacked. It's better if we maybe head back, see if they can get them on comms, see if they maybe have a way to track them, if we are to get them. But doing an explosion in an area this open, with this much snow, any color outside of the basic color, if anything can see far enough, it's likely to tip them off to where we are, and that may not be a friendly. At least that's my take.
Hunter shrugs. Yeah. There was a significantly less presence of Grim here, so I doubt there'll be too much around us.
It's not the Grim I'm worried about.
Fair enough.
Could I try and text the soldiers to try and get in touch with the academy students to tell them like the longitude and latitude of where we are?
You could let's see. So getting the information to them, if you're just using your portal, you can easily hop back there. But the problem is they don't know the exact location of the folks either. Just that they're
Oh,
currently in the area.
And they can't talk to them either?
Nope.
Oh, well.
Right
That's a
now,
moot point then. Well,
the storm is making it or well, not exactly the storm. The heavy snowfall is making it a bit tricky for communications, which is an accepted standard thing here in Atlas or in Mantle.
can I use my gravity to just move around glitter in the air so that the refraction of the light signals them to be over here? Like with a big like pointer arrow pointing down at us?
With the snow coming down, I don't think they'd be able to see it due to the low visibility conditions. They don't have your sense, at least.
Leb's eyes. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter's
With
light
that,
reflection wouldn't work either because there's not enough light.
With that zero, I can't think of anything off the top of my head where you'd be able to track them down aside from sense, unless you've got some other stuff that I am not thinking of.
I mean, Hunter has the light, the light ability.
Yeah, there's not enough light around us to reflect, though.
We got. Do we?
Yeah,
I probably have a
snowfalls.
flashlight.
The snowfall is making it so that the visibility is you're not going to be able to see too far from where you are, or
Yeah.
Mhm.
well, no, you can, but humans generally can't.
Yeah, I see. Yes, the humans. All right. Okay, no worries. I think that right now, I guess maybe we can't get in contact with them without like making sounds, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I say fuck it, and something comes for us, something comes for us. Not like we haven't had
I-
things come for us already.
And we want to fight them now.
Hunter shrugs. Do y'all want to fight? I can't want to fight.
Well, you're going to fight no matter what. It's just a question of whether or not you want to get into the base first, or whether you're going to call the enemies to your location.
Good point, good point. Do you think
was
they'd
there.
even actually come to a sniper sound in the middle of the tundra?
Probably not.
Mhm.
But I can think of a couple of ways to get them out here.
Oh,
I just need a lot more explosives.
slowly turns to Katie.
Okay.
How many?
Yes.
Make a perimeter.
Oh, you don't want a yes. Unless you do.
You see Jack actually thinking for once, and he's like surveying. Hey, Lynn.
Hmm?
How many hills do we have in the area of snow?
I'll look around.
The majority of the area is flat because of the wind is pushing everything, and more or less keeping it. It's not like completely super flat, but there's not too many hills in the area around you.
Fortunately, it doesn't look like there's much of a hill anywhere.
I need an explosive that can make a trench.
I can make a trench with some gravity. It's just snow, right?
It is snow, but a lot of it is heavily packed snow as well as ice. But making a trench isn't particularly hard with explosives, since you have, as Katie has mentioned, yes.
Hmm.
You have a
Katie.
lot.
Mm-hmm. Say the
Get
magic word
me-
first.
Get me about an amount of explosives that can equal up to nearly a ton. In power, not
Jesus.
the amount, just power. Keep in mind, it'll take me a little bit, but I can make us enough trenches that even when we have possible people coming up that are on our side, they have a place to take cover.
You didn't say the magic word.
Please.
Yay!
Oh
Alright,
goodness, that was the actual word.
I was
For a
thinking it was
second,
gonna
I
be
expected
yes.
it to be abracadabra.
I mean, that was pretty good. I would have accepted either. I don't know what magic words are in your world. Death? Oh.
Typically get down.
Oh. Yeah.
Because usually there's either a railgun cannon being fired at us or a firing line of snipers.
That sounds fun. All right, let me get the explosives.
Just Jack staring at Katie like, I mean, kind of, maybe, depends on who you were and or are.
Should I go ahead and go back to? Well, I was thinking of going back and summoning the soldiers that are over there. Did we want to have them in this fight as well? If we're
this is-
bringing the people, the bad guys, up to the surface.
I'd rather have them here. The problem with going down in there is we lose, to some degree, a tactical advantage. We've walked into every fight with them that we've been in, and it's always caused one of us to get really hurt.
Okay.
Hunter nearly dying at least once.
He keeps doing that.
Okay.
I
I'm
say,
gonna go ahead.
for the first
Okay.
time, I would rather us bring them up if it was allowable and everyone agrees. I'd rather bring them up to us, and the only way I know how to do that is with a lot of explosives and using the explosives to make our battlefield.
Mm.
Something similar that I'm pretty sure I accidentally did when we were in the forest with the tree.
I'm sure that if we brought over some soldiers as well, they might have some officers that can help us with more stuff.
Here's I may be able to only plant explosives to make this faster.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and stamp a foot on the ground. Oh, well, I don't know. The portal just opens up beside me. So,
Understood.
on the ground.
Shink.
Yep, it
And then
opens into the
I'll-
med bay.
How do I ask for help?
I believe you start by asking for help.
Oh.
Pretty
Hello, I need
straightforward.
help. But not medically.
Yeah. So
Um.
the previous person you spoke with ends up coming pretty quickly, and you convey that you're going to need some soldiers, that you're going to need backup, and a fair number of them are supplied. At the moment, getting actual hunters from the nearby academy is going to require a little bit because they have to travel from Atlas, and they don't have instant transmission. But
Ah, sucks to suck, huh?
yeah. Yes, it does.
Oh, so
But-
for hunters coming from Atlas are going to take a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to take a little bit, but you do definitely have backup in the form of soldiers.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll just leave the portal open for now in this spot until we move things around.
Okay. And as you're setting up the explosives for that, can you tell me a bit about you're creating trenches in order to create a tactical advantage?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that should be relatively easy. And since you're not exactly being rushed by anything, I'd say that, yeah, you're able to do that in a fairly relaxed environment. You have the explosive set. You have your folks ready to file in. Do you set them all off?
As soon as Jack gets all clear that we are all here and ready.
And then I'll have some snow mounds piled up as well. Maybe like before should we have them as well, like in different areas, except for the one line of trench for some like backup places? Or no? This isn't like a firing squad. They're all just decking out on each other.
Well, the soldiers have guns.
Oh, okay. Maybe they would like some mounds or something. I don't know.
Yeah, anything to provide additional cover. The greatest challenge is definitely going to be the visibility conditions. It's not a full-on blizzard, but it's snowing enough that it's hard to see too far away.
How much would it impact like my control of gravity if I try shifting away the visibility? I don't know if it matters right now, but like 2?
I don't think you'd be able to massively impact visibility conditions on the grounds that you can do a thing that's taller and wider than a person is, but there's a lot more snow coming from all over the place than about a person's size.
Well, I mean, mine can very like 15-foot radius. Or I don't know. They can go pretty tall.
Oh yeah,
but
well, 15-foot radius is very solid. It's just that means that you can control about an amount of snow 15 feet away, or you can create an area of clear sight that's about 50 that has a 15-foot radius. The battlefield's a lot bigger than that.
That's true.
And most people are with guns are not going to be trying to shoot things that are less than 15 feet away.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with melee, then yes, you would be able to do that in order to clear up visibility conditions, but it would have to be for melee.
It's okay. Oh, got it. Thank you.
Then
Cool,
I do
cool.
believe you're all ready.
Mhm.
Oof, are we?
Well, as ready as you will be.
Yes.
Fire
So,
away.
Just
Moment.
say when, Captain.
Cover your ears. Pray you don't get hit by some ice and duck.
How do I cover my rabbit ears?
as the explosive goes off, you can feel everything quaking from the sheer amount of explosives that go off. Trenches are rent into the snow and ice, and very quickly the soldiers file in order to get themselves into a good position. It's less than a minute before you then start hearing something else approaching. Exact things you were likely expecting. The first thing that you spot are 3 gospels, or miraculously, Lynn's able to easily spot them because super enhanced senses. The rest of you can only see shapes, but I'm assuming that Lynn's going to convey what she sees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then you're able to spot the 3 of them are all humanoid in form, but they varying different builds. One is this very large torso thing standing at about 14 feet tall that seems to be lumbering forward at a pretty fast pace. Another one seems to be far more short and stout, and it seems to be holding something in its arm. It's difficult to tell exactly what it is because it doesn't look like anything that you're used to seeing. And then the third one just looks like this tall and lanky figure. Doesn't seem to have any weapon on it that you can see. And if you can go ahead and make a sense check in addition to that information.
1 success.
1 success. You do see another shadowed figure much, much further back. But it doesn't seem to be approaching.
There's another one a lot farther back, guys. Is it 4 in total?
Oh, flip.
Hunter's just all ready up his sniper.
Unfortunately, your scope is not going to help you a lot in the snow.
Oh,
Mhm.
does mine though? When I look at the farther back one?
What he's gonna do is
You
he's
can
gonna
see it with your senses rather than with your sniper scope.
He's
Oh, so it
going,
doesn't double down?
yeah,
No.
he's gonna look at Lynn, and he's gonna basically say, "I'm gonna be firing blind, so tell me when, where, and how to shoot."
I can probably follow where he's shooting, yeah. My eyesight, right?
Essentially, he's using you as a
Following it should be
guide.
easy.
Will do.
Okay. As you're watching it approach, that tells me what the 2 of you are doing. Or actually, Lynn, are you doing anything else in addition to keeping an eye out, or just right now focusing on scouting?
I've seen these 4 figures, and I just want to make sure no one else, either before, around us, or behind us, is happening.
I'm sorry, my brain completely short-circuited. What?
Is there anyone else besides the 4
No, not that you can
around
see.
us? Okay.
It's just your
I'm just
forces and those 4.
Okay. Then I'll before helping Hunter, I'll just say do we want to announce if they're friend or foe, or are we just gonna fight them? Probably foe, right?
Probably, but hold your fire until they attack. I'm gonna do the stupid thing that I typically do. Watch my back.
I'll cover you.
Will do.
Katie,
I'll make
go be an
Jax-
idiot with him.
Yay!
As Jack's gonna start walking towards them.
Oh.
You're approaching me. As you
Me?
go forward,
Do our
after
coolest
a little
walk.
bit, you do end up standing in front of the three of them, and they don't immediately go into violence. You can see them a lot more clearly now. The overall figures end up matching, but they are all wearing those same white robes with red cloth as highlights. But you can clearly tell that the weapon that was in the hands of the other one, it looks too similar to a gun to be coincidence. The one in front looks over you. Well, I wasn't expecting you to just walk over here. You understand exactly where you are?
The base of the Gospels.
We figured we'd get found out pretty soon.
You
Not quite
wiped
this
out all the
fast.
You wiped out all the Grim. The humans have been fighting them for centuries. Do you think they wouldn't have systems in place to track them?
We just did what was in the best interests. He momentarily pauses and seems to listen for a moment. Boss wants to talk to you in particular.
Take it over the letter?
The letter. No, not that boss. He's gonna lean forward with a toothy grin. And Lynn, you can tell that the other figure, the fourth one, is very rapidly closing in on their location.
I'll pull up my sniper, but I won't shoot yet. I'll say, watch out, approaching.
Gotcha. And who's
Napster.
your boss?
He just steps to the side and proceeds to then bow. As a moment later, there is a heavy crash as the figure lands right in front of you, close enough that you can easily make him out. He looks a little bit different, but it would be hard not to recognize Kamael, the rage of the father.
Sunshine!
You.
Jack yells that, by the way, in the most joyous, sarcastic tone he can. So that's who their boss is.
It's been
Hearing
quite some
that,
time.
Lynn is immediately like Hunter's immediately going to look at Lynn and go, direction for head.
Not yet.
I need to aim.
I'll tell him, but I'll say, just
Hmm?
wait as well.
He nods.
It's been quite some time since we fought, human.
Yeah.
You're the one who killed my bestie.
I won't apologize for that.
Jerk.
I wanted to speak with you in order to convey my thoughts after our interaction last time.
So have you figured out what hate is?
I really have. You see, I thought humans were just some sort of pest, like a rodent to be dealt with, a rat to be cleaned up. I was wrong. I looked down on you as weak, and then you proved just how strong you are, defeating me handily. But in so doing, I realized exactly why I was so mad. Humans, Gospels, were not so completely different. Both capable of logic, of reason. We were blessed with wisdom by our Creator, the God of Light, and we have the capacity to talk out our problems, to join hands together in order to accomplish incredible things. And I realized there is no stronger hate than what I feel for those who squander our Creator's wisdom and continue to ally with the disgusting, grim stench, including that human of yours.
You just lost your bestie slot. Just so you know.
I won't even pretend to know what that means.
Oh, we're on the same page because even I'm a little confused by that one. Granted, she's figured out that she can at least semi-commune with your broken ones, so...
I could send you telepathic messages. I could send you telepathic memes about how much you've lost your bestie privileges, possibilities. Possibility privileges.
If you can commune with us telepathically, then I invite you to do so. Look within the confines of my mind.
Oh no.
So, what does this mean for us?
I want to kill you.
So are you gonna try, or are you gonna just walk away?
I think...
Sorry, I'm not used to talking to people who usually want to kill me. They usually just try to kill me. It's weird.
I know. I'm more used to direct conflict myself. But I've been conflicted on exactly what hate is until today. I thought it was warmer than this, that it burned hot. There's nothing hot here. I suppose that all that's left is for us to fight then.
If you want my answer to hate, for what small bit, it's a pit. Cold, dead pit. Reserved for those that are your enemy. But even that is shallow. Hate. It's simple.
Yes.
It devours.
And I will devour you, humans. Allow me to show you a more perfect hatred. He stands up to his full height and raises his hand. And there is immediately a feeling of warmth that spreads throughout the entire area. Before, well, the exact details of what happens and why you're able to see the sun shine in Mantle will get explained to you next time on Jump Chain.
Whoa.
So,
No.
All right. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you guys have, feel free to hit that follow button. As always, go check our various other contents if you guys want to see the various things that we do at pretty much every point in time. But we're going to be streaming again tomorrow at 6 p.m. PST for some Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm also going to be doing another game, not streaming it, but I'm going to be over on my friend Lissa's channel. I'm a Lizard. I can shout her out real quick. S-O-N-I-M. I am a Liz. I have not had to type out her name in so long. There we go. But go check her out if you guys want to. I'm going to be over there in about an hour or so, just playing some Deep Rock Galactic with her. And a couple other friends. So a few of them are going to be streaming, but if you guys want to see more of me, feel free to pop over there. Otherwise, feel free to pop over on Tuesday for me and Jackalope, Friday for me and Lynn, where I'll be playing Tyrant's Wrath as well as Katie, or our various other series that we do throughout the week. We're going to be raiding. If you guys haven't done a raid with us beforehand, ignore the incoming ad. We're going to be finished before that goes. We're going to feel free to just copy over the raid message. We're going to be popping over to Speary, who is just doing some Marvel Rivals and chilling with chat right now. So we're just going to pop over to her, say hi, and give her a sweet, sweet message of shush, because we are the librarians. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys later. Oh, bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
arrivederci.
Goodbye.